Okay, you'll hear some background noise and all that stuff, but we're on the scooter again today. I gotta get this finished so I can get rid of it and sell it or whatever I'm gonna do with it. We got the lock and key, all locks and keys. Gotta put that on. The pump and filters, the breather if I want to use it, the manifold, the hose, and remember the carburetor. So we gotta start putting that together. Get some wrenches or ratchets. We got the exhaust off too, so throw that away. Gotta put the exhaust back on, and I gotta put the parts to the exhaust back on. The exhaust has been cleaned up. What I mean is painted, more or less. Cleaned up, painted. Now we just gotta put, I don't know, you're not seeing me. Well, you're seeing part of me. I just gotta set the cover back on. One screw was busted out of the cover, so I'm gonna have to skip that screw. It actually snapped clean off, but all the rest of them are here. As long as I can get them around without that, I'll be all right. And the only reason I cleaned them up and painted, because it wasn't bad rust, but it was pretty rusty and it looked awful. So I just wanted to make it look a little better. I already had the paint. Now I dropped the washer. I have to find that washer. Actually, I don't have to find that washer because that's the one that was broken off, so it might be alright. I re-drilled and tapped, but it's not the right thread. The exact thread, because I couldn't find the exact thread. But it's really close, so it should work. And it does, it works, guys. It's a little crooked, but it does work. As long as I hold the shield on there, it's a shield to keep you from getting burnt. No, I just cleaned it up a little bit. That's what I have to pay. I cleaned up more. But there it is. Now, these are 10mm bolts underneath. Pretty sure. When I took it off the first time, the stud actually came out. And you really don't want that. You want to make sure your studs stay in there. So I re-put the stud back in. Let me see if I'm telling you right. Yep, 10mm. The rubber isolator for this is actually screwed up a little bit. That goes right here. But this is a nut and bolt. I'm going to try to get it in there without turning it up too much. Now that is way off for some reason. I don't know why. That's a rubber isolator. Alright, now let's see if I can get the threads in there. It seems like it needs to come forwards. Yeah, she's not going to go back together like that. This rubber isolator is going to piece. I'm going to take it back out. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to see if I can get one of these bolts on to start. I got one started. Now, see if I can get this back in here. Alright, now let's see if I can get this other bolt started. I think I just about got that all the way on. It will have to be tightened up, but it's going on pretty easy. And then we're going to see how close we can get with this rubber isolator, or whatever, majiggy. It was a piece of rubber in there. I think we got that too, so. I think that's actually a different size. That looks like a 12 or a 13. We'll try a 12 first. 12 works. See if we can get the threads to start. We got the threads to start. That's because I had everything loose. There that is. Now let's see if we can get in here and take care of this exhaust. Probably gonna need a extension. actually turn them in with my fingers, so without a stitch I might be able to do this, tighten them up. I don't know. Nope. I'm gonna need a little extension. That other one got too long. I already got a deep well, and I still need a extension. So. There's one. Now we got to get the other side. And you want to snug them up. Don't over tighten them. You can tighten them more if you need to. After it's running. Because you don't want to do any damage and break the stud off or something in the motor. So. Now we're gonna looking for the intake. Here it is. I said about I was gonna change it. Intake bolts. They're 10s. You probably don't have to change this intake, but I am. That way I know my customer or whoever's buying it they know it's new. As long as these bolts come off good, we're alright. You heard it there, so it seems like it's coming apart. And this intake's actually got a breather on it or something for the fuel, so if it seems like it when you start cracking, it seems like that bolt is not moving, stop. You don't have to change this. It's not a must, but this is the original one from 2008. And it's rubber and metal pieces, so that's why I'm changing it. Just a direct bolt on, slide right on. Put your nuts back on. And snug her back down. It wasn't super tight, so you don't want to make it super tight when you snug it down. You just want to make sure it's, I'd say about 10 foot-pounds or inch-pounds, whatever they go by. You want to make it snug, more or less. See, it hasn't stopped yet. It's pretty easy. I'm barely pushing on it. Now it's starting to get snug. That's snug air. Now I'm going back and forth to it. It's setting flat. There it is. Now since we're changing this line, I'm not going to do anything with that line right now. So we know that's new. And then you want to take, before you do this, you want to make sure whatever side you're going to put your easiest way to get your carburetor on, make sure that is sticking out. Your clamp. A little trick to put these carburetors on. Now I'll show you this trick. You can grab PB Blaster, anything, a little bit of little soap and water. Little anything, just to put it on here. Make sure it's oily. And it should slide right in. if I can get it to start. It's fitting a little tight for some reason. There it goes. I got it. Then make sure it's got a little rubber piece up here on the new ones. Make sure the carburetor is setting straight up and down where it's supposed to be. But you get a screwdriver. I can use a Phillips screwdriver on this. I'm going to make sure it's about right in the middle. So when I tighten it down, it's going to snug that up. That's done. This back side's going to be a little tricky for some reason. I might have to put this back on. The original one, guys. It's got a different lean to it looks like. The other one comes straight out. I don't know if I can still get. No, I should be alright. I can pull that up a little bit. Alright. I know this one over here. Go ahead and snap that in. I heard something hit down here. Oh, a little fuel filter. They actually give you a fuel filter. I bought fuel filters. This one right here is just like a little screen or something. This actually paper filters. They're a little better, I think. So we're going to take one of them. We're going to take some of this. I'll go get something to cut that and we'll start putting that together. Now you want to put them, you want to try to put the filters and everything everywhere that they got them in the same place. Usually if the manufacturer did it, they did it for a reason. Unless you're modifying it. We know we need one down there, and the one down there don't actually have a hose clamp on it, but it's supposed to, and we got hose clamps galore. I made sure of that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab me a couple hose clamps here. And I'm going to try to put a hose clamp on everywhere I can, just in case. I know this is not a actual, this is a fuel line type, but it ain't actually fuel line. It's a breather for the fuel line. If that makes any sense to anybody. So. And I might have to go with the stock stuff, because this, what they sent me, I think is wrong. They sent me stuff that's too big. It's not right. Let's see what these other clamps. These other clamps are even smaller. These other clamps are smaller, it probably will work. These clamps seem a little big. What I mean is, see, watch. I can pull that right off there. I shouldn't be able to do that. This might work. This is scooter fuel line, but I think it's a hair big. But I'm gonna try it anyway and see. If it seems like it's too loose when I put this clamp on here, I'm gonna use the factory stuff. Yeah, I can pull that right off, guys. I don't like it. The hose is still good. This hose, I was just gonna put new on. This is just the air hose. So it looks like we'll be changing what we can, because that other line is too big. It's the wrong one. I should have checked that, but that was my fault. Now I'm going to take that ain't freaking no good. I tried to cut some of this end off because it's a little big. It's fitting too loose for me. Then I'm going to put the factory clamp back on. It ain't the best, but it's got a clamp at least. Nope. This should have been 5/16, and it looks like they sent me quarter. Or go ahead.
Well, golly gee, Ma, I made it on the TV. Till later.